morning, everyone. It's 6 a.m. in Denver, 8 a.m. in New York, and 1 p.m. in London. I'm Frederick Pogue with Julie Roginski and Michelle Kinney, and this is the Mayday Morning Show. Welcome. Julie, Michelle, something extraordinary happened over this weekend that had a huge impact on me, and I know it had a huge impact on the people of New York. And so I just wanted to come on here and offer my support for my Denver Broncos scoring 33 points against the New York Giants.
Is that who the Giants were playing?
Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I was out to dinner last night with my husband and another couple, and the men literally whipped out their phones to watch this game.
The phones. Okay.
Yes. Therefore, just their phones at a restaurant.
What dinner was this?
The entire first half of this dinner was taken up by watching this game. And I will say nothing other than to say that, yes, the New York Giants need a kicker. And they need a kicker desperately. And this hack kicker that they have should have been fired on the spot yesterday. I hope and pray that he's no longer a member of the New York Giants family as of this morning. But we would have won that game had it not been for our.
Did he miss a field goal? I'm assuming
two
extra points.
Two. And he would have. The Giants would have won that game.
Oh, laces out, buddy. Laces out.
Yeah. You have one job. One job.
But do you know whose kicker didn't miss a field goal at a clutch moment? And ladies, New York ladies, just to let you know, all the ladies in New York out there, this is a vintage Denver Broncos hoodie. It's very comfortable. It's 4XL. It's been worn in for like 8 years. So I'm just saying, if you want to come to a real football team,
I'll go to Buffalo.
Okay, enough fun. Let's start the show.
Go ahead.
So Saturday was an amazing outpouring of love and patriotism all across the country, from coast to coast, from big cities to small towns. Americans came together to say, we've never had a king and we don't want one now. Mm-hmm. So after seeing all this and being a part of it, Julie, Michelle, what do you think we do and what do we do next to keep all this going?
Well, I think, first of all, we should show people what we asked people on Saturday to send us, or Friday, whenever we did this dispatch, Michelle asked people to send us pictures, and we have a bunch. So why don't we show people what they sent us, and then we'll talk about it. Yep.
So we have one from North Carolina. It says, Draft Dodger in orange makeup called me the enemy. We have another photo from Red Bank, New Jersey. So bad even the introverts are here. Let's see. We have another one from Newtown, Connecticut. No kings except Carol King, which I do agree with that. Here is our friend Jojo from Jurors in New Jersey. Hey, Trump, nobody paid us to be here. We all hate you for free.
Good on JoJo.
Yeah, 13 years of Christian school, and you expect me not to love my neighbor. I like that.
Facts.
They're eating the checks. They're eating the bounces.
I love that shirt too. Little Foxtrot
Delta. Let's see. Okay, I have some videos here as well. There might be some repeats if you were watching the dispatch over the weekend. Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Me watching doing it.
We have Boston. Huge turnout in
Millions
Boston.
of people across the country marching as we speak against the policies of President Trump. This is Boston. Look at that. We'll continue to follow these rallies throughout the day here on MSNBC.
Ellie Velshi doing the VO. We have here Chicago.
I feel like Boston had an original, like the OG No Kings protest.
They did. Right.
Way back in the day.
They did. There's some tea in the harbor.
We have Congresswoman-elect Grijalva in Tucson. He was out.
do they
We
keep
have
saying Congress doesn't do their job when Mike Johnson will swear people in to do their job?
Right. Massive turnout in Washington, D.C.
Love that.
We also have here Hartford, Connecticut.
The insurance capital of the country.
Yeah, true.
Is it? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
It is.
Really? Okay.
This is. Okay, where it is. Wait a second. Oh, San Francisco, I think. We also have here San Francisco from above.
Look at that.
Amazing. Amazing, amazing. And hold on, I'm loading more in here because it only lets me do so many at a time. Hold on. I have another one here from yep, this one's good. We have Governor Pritzker.
I love this guy.
Oh, he's great.
He just looks like he is Chicago. Right? He just looks like he's
You know,
Chicago.
he's seen some things. You know what I mean? He looks like he's seen things. This is downtown Tucson, I think.
Wow. Okay.
Phoenix, I think. Wasn't it?
Phoenix. Sorry, my bad. Yes, Phoenix. You are absolutely correct.
Dig it.
Absolutely correct. And let's see what else we have here. We have Indianapolis.
You know what's amazing about Indianapolis right now is they too have a great quarterback who's also from the New York Giants that
Yes.
named Daniel Jones.
That's true. Daniel Jones did not perform for us, but he's certainly performing for the Colts. So I'm happy for Indianapolis. They've got one thing going for them, and that's their.
This is Madison, Wisconsin, courtesy of Ben Wickler, who was
For a minute there, I thought they were like in a boat. I thought they were like.
Yeah, it's kind of making me seasick to watch, but this is
It kind of looks like they're in they're Washington crossing the Delaware, you know, with the flag and everything.
I have been painting in my living room.
I have been to Washington's Crossing on Christmas. They reenact it every year.
Oh wow, yeah. That's dope. I've never done it.
This is Portland, Maine. Big turnout, it seems as though. And
maybe that's the Portland Donald Trump wanted to send National Guard to, because apparently they couldn't find any terrorists and crime in
right.
Well,
here are all the terrorist Antifas in Times Square in New York City.
Look at all those Hamas supporters.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, that's a Sbarro. I thought that was an Iranian flag. I guess it's a Sbarro.
Here is Times Square as well.
Look at that criminal. See, we found the crime. He's standing on a municipal receptacle.
Donald Trump! I love that. I brought my son with me to the protest too.
Best thing.
That's Michelle Kinney waving a huge American.
Is that Michelle?
That's me.
Is that a did we see a random Michelle Kinney appear? Arms held out straight. I mean, she has to. I think she's like being forced out. So
It was arm day.
well, you have to hold it straight.
Yeah, the people near me were singing "This Land Is Your Land," and I'm like, I was looking around, and I was like, does this look like a Hate America rally to you?
I know.
I don't think so.
So you guys, I'm going to say this. This is all nice, and this is great that we did this, and it's nice that we did this in June, and I don't think it's enough. And I think the next stop is, my personal suggestion is take Black Friday off. Just don't go shopping. Make something for your family. You don't have to get something expensive for Christmas. Just you don't this Christmas season, this holiday season, just skip it.
Yeah, that this needs to be a coordinated national holiday shopping strike. First of all, it'll save us money during a time where things are insanely expensive as it is.
Right.
But it will send a larger message, because if there is one thing that is not only our downfall in the United States, but also could be our savior, is capitalism.
Yep.
And this last election really was between capitalism and corporatism and oligarchy and fascism. And unfortunately, oligarchy and fascism won. But I don't think that capitalism is hurting enough yet, the people at the top. So
No.
the one thing that they do listen to is dollar signs. And Trisha just said, yes, but what about small businesses? Yes, shop local, shop very small, shop as small as you possibly can. And I would just say, like, no shopping at big box stores, department stores, Amazon, Macy's, the list goes on. Because we cannot participate in this. We cannot participate. And these are the people who are giving their money. I even just saw recently, in the last couple days, Spotify is running ads for ICE.
Oh,
yeah.
All right.
So,
you know what to do.
Exactly. I think I might take our podcast off Spotify. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm
You
done.
The interesting thing about this is the boycotts do absolutely work.
Target.
The CEO of Target no longer has a job because of boycotts. You're seeing, even it's interesting because the Trump administration just came out today. They're talking just about auto manufacturing. They say, well, we might have a carve out because I think some of the tariffs have not had the intended effect that on hurting small businesses. It's like, duh. Yeah. So.
Well, right.
Yeah, it's it's this mush mouth kind of like, oh yeah, I set this fire, but now I'm going to put part of it out.
Well, MJ makes a great point too in the chat. Disney put Kimmel back on. I mean, look how many thousands and thousands of people canceled their Hulu subscriptions. I was one of them, and it worked. It worked, and people in power, people in Hollywood said, I will no longer work with Disney as long as this is going on. I mean, it really was from the top all the way down to the consumer, said no. And within a couple days, he was back on air.
And, you have people like Mark Benioff at Salesforce all of a sudden saying, send in the National Guard into San Francisco, and then backtrack when he got a ton of flack for it. They feel it, right? I mean, you have Jeff Bezos's ex-wife, Mackenzie Scott, who's giving away billions and billions of her money to the best causes. He's running around with Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner and his new wife. I'll leave it at that. And the Kardashians. And the reality is, don't go to Amazon. Like, I am addicted to Amazon. I spend so much money on Amazon. I'm going to stop. Like, it will require me leaving my house. It will require me walking places to buy something, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And for Christmas, don't do it when you have Tim Cook giving Donald Trump from Apple, giving Donald Trump a gold-plated something or other.
Just little participation trophy.
Yeah, little participation trophy. Guess what you have to do? You don't have to upgrade that new iPhone. Like, you just don't.
No.
Just skip it.
No.
I'm really like a terrible consumer anyway. I'll buy things, but I only do it when I absolutely need it, or I'm pre-planning for something, or that kind of stuff. But like we talked about, like, what could you do moving forward, right? You can, to your point, Julie, you can strengthen your ties with your community and folks again, right? There's ways that we used to live that we don't anymore, right? Which is, I remember when my parents would have people over and, they'd cook a meal and they would talk about just whatever. Or there's civic organizations that absolutely need volunteers that would love to have you, right? You can support, you can go to those small businesses and buy toys and you can give them the Marine Corps Toys for Tots.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's the kind of differences you can make, right? Yes, it's a little more pain in the ass, but I mean, voting with your dollars is really, it's just as effective as voting on a ballot in this country.
In this country. Yeah.
And we've had general strikes, by the way, in this country before. Not in our lifetime that I can remember, but 100 years ago, they happen all the time. That's how you got labor.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually ascendant to give us the 5-day work week.
Yep.
That's we got labor protections.
Thank a Democrat.
Yeah. And the reality is that if you are a member of organized labor, you might want to consider organizing a strike. Like, you don't need to show up to work.
Yeah.
If this is what they're going to do. If they're going to arrest people on the street and disappear them, you don't need to provide money for them to be able to do that.
Correct.
And Donald Trump is ultimately somebody who doesn't care about anything other than his own bottom line. He will be fine, because I don't know if the Qataris or the Russians or whoever is putting money into his sketchy Steve Witkoff son helmed crypto fund. But the people around him, all the people who are funding him, the oligarchs, there's a reason why Elon Musk has kind of disappeared off the scene. People stopped buying Teslas.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
His stock price plummeted.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Majorly.
And, I am a member of a union, and while I'm not working in that union anymore, I am a member. I pay my dues a couple times a year, and it's the Actors Equity Association, and they are considering going on strike right now. All of the actors that you see on Broadway, off Broadway, regional theater, any union produced theater. And the musicians also. The musicians are thinking about striking, because the Broadway League right now, the people who are running the shows, making the shows, owning the theaters are living in mansions and having this insane lifestyle. And you have people in the ensemble working 6 days a week, breaking their bodies for $2,000 a week. That's before taxes. That's before agent fees. That's before working union dues. And that's just one example. That's just one example. And they're doing this, like, listen, it's October 20th. What's the biggest time of year that people come to New York and go to see shows? From Thanksgiving until New Year's.
Yep. So
I didn't know that.
So think about it. Think about it. Think about maybe telling your kids that this year they're going to have one less toy.
Yeah.
It's okay. Right. Like, it's okay. Like, we all have kids who are total consumerists and all they want is stuff. And maybe it'll be a good lesson also to tell them there are things in life that are more important than stuff.
Yep. And not to mention, listen, the majority of us are buying stuff just to buy stuff, because it's the time of year we're supposed to buy people stuff. And my husband and I had a long conversation about this, and I was like, I'm not doing it this year. We're not doing it. Like, our parents, our siblings, our friends, like, we're not doing it this year. And, if we want to go see a concert or spend money on an experience or something like that, that's different. I was like, but we're not buying shit this year, because I'm not giving these people my money.
Well, and I will also say that the average American spends something, I think, like $1,300 on Christmas a year. For that $1,300, either bank it or go somewhere. Go somewhere that's not in this country. Spend your tourism dollars somewhere else. Right? Go to Canada. I mean, it's kind of cold up there over Christmas.
If you live close enough and you can afford it.
Go, if you can afford it, go to Mexico. Go somewhere.
Or
have an experience, or just don't.
Or don't, because listen, this week, people's insurance premiums are about to skyrocket.
Yep.
So that $1,300 that these families would have spent during Christmas are likely going to have to be spent on healthcare and other things, because the cost of everything is going through the roof. And, there was a story in the New York Times about the shutdown and how Donald Trump apparently just doesn't care, which, surprise, surprise, he doesn't care. These people don't care. And Russell Vogt, who's the director of the Office of Management Budget, like, he's taking this opportunity to make things worse for Americans. And he has said out loud, we want to traumatize Americans. And I just, on a petty note, Did you guys know that Russell Vogt is 49 years old?
All of these
Yeah.
people, they're all
Yeah,
like,
he's my age.
40.
He's like,
yeah,
he's my age.
Brendan
That's
Carr is
crazy.
46.
I know. They all look like they're 20, 30 years older. That's what being a miserable human being does.
Stephen
to you.
Miller. Hello.
Stephen Miller is just 40. Is he 40 yet?
No, he's younger than me.
He's
like
not
he's
like-
like 40.
He's 40. He's 40.
No, he's 40. He's like 40.
He just turned 40.
Yeah, he's in his 40s, I think.
Yeah,
He's
no,
in
he
mid-
just turned 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at what that does to you. All right. On that note,
We'll be right back. So guys, have you seen the Trump cover of Time magazine with his
That turkey neck. That
Oh,
turkey neck.
Can you call it a turkey? I don't know if it's turkey.
Mhm.
It's a something else. It looks not safe for work. Well, and regardless, 60 Minutes did a glowing interview with Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff based on, the contents of that cover, other than his face, was about the Gaza peace deal. That everyone with half a brain could have predicted that was not going to last very long at all. And sure enough, 6 days after it was signed, the Gaza truce is very much over. Israel and Hamas are back at it, and legacy media has egg on its face. And Julie, I have to ask you, because I know you were on TV this weekend talking about this. Or no, it was before the weekend, right? It was on Friday.
It was Friday.
It was Friday.
I was on CNN and I was asked, why won't Democrats give Trump credit for the Gaza ceasefire? And I said, I would be thrilled to give him credit for the Gaza ceasefire. I will give him credit for getting 20 hostages released, the final hostages. I noted that Joe Biden got more released when he was there, and nobody really gave him credit. But okay, I will give him credit for getting those 20 hostages released. But this is disgraceful. There's no triumph here. I mean, what triumph? What triumph? He had a ceasefire that lasted 6 days. 6 days. And right now, as we speak, Hamas was attacking all weekend, was attacking Israeli soldiers. Israel retaliated, started bombing Gaza again, cut off aid, and we're right back to where we were.
Yeah.
I think maybe we missed the point, like the deeper meaning of that cover, and which is the triumph of that camel toe overcoming that that red tie. What? Am I wrong?
Too early. It's too early. But to the really important salient point of this is why corporate media sucks.
Yeah.
Because they have become like a transcription service. They really have. I mean, it is so outrageous. The fact that I had to be asked on CNN why I won't give him credit. Why would I give him credit? For what? For what?
For what?
Because he decided to go to Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt. Lovely place. I happen to have been there this past summer, not on purpose, but that's where I ended up. Very nice resort.
The escape route.
I escaped with my escape route from Israel during the Iran war. Beautiful resort. If anybody has any occasion to be anywhere in Egypt, go to Sharm el-Sheikh. The Four Seasons there. Lovely bar. But also $20 a night. Very
That's such a promo, Julie.
It's not a promo. Very cheap for Four Seasons. Deeply cheap. But I will say this: I didn't stay at the Four Seasons. I just went to the bar there because, trust me, after fleeing a war zone, the first place you're going to go is find a bar and drink.
Yep.
But the point is, he went to a nice resort with a bunch of people who pump a lot of money into his business ventures. Ended up signing something that neither party was there to sign. Neither Hamas nor Bibi Netanyahu showed up to sign. Declared a ceasefire, and Time magazine puts him on the cover of like his triumph. What? And CNN is asking me why I'm not applauding when it was like, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. And I said this to Michelle over the weekend. Listen, here's the secret to what you can find out is happening all over the world, which I don't understand why mainstream media with all of their resources doesn't do. So when I was in Israel this past summer and I ended up in that war, there's an app that you can sign up for that would pretty much tell you when the missiles were being fired, where they were being fired to, so you could, prepare yourself for where to hide. And it's an app that is very connected. They've got a very specific point of view. It's very pro Netanyahu government point of view, but we were using it not for that reason. We were using it just to know where the missiles were coming from. Anyway, I've kept that app on my phone, and it's in English, but effectively it tells you what is happening in Israel, not from the way the media is saying it, but from what the Israeli government is basically conveying.
Right.
So I knew right away, because I would look at this app 5 times a day, because it always pops up on my phone, what was going to happen. Netanyahu was convening emergency cabinet hearings and meetings, and constantly, and you had his his wackadoodle right-wing minister saying, we're not going to go into Gaza. This is over. We're going to collapse the government. Of course he had to go back into Gaza. Of course he did. And by the way, they're going to annex the West Bank. And by the way, Hamas was never going to lay down its arms. I don't know on what planet anybody thought that was going to happen. So again, it's not like I'm some great foreign policy analyst. I just have access to, Israeli apps.
Right. Which they all do too.
Which
and
they all
just don't want to report it because that might make dear leader angry, or it might seem combative or contrarian, and they don't want to do that. They only want to be contrarians when there's a Democrat in office. They only want to be contrarians when, they feel like they have to, overcorrect so they don't seem like the liberal media. It's complete bullshit. It's all bullshit.
It's because they know liberals won't throw them in jail because we value the First Amendment. We value freedom of the press. So they take advantage of that. The problem, that's what I hate about legacy media and corporate media, is they're spineless. Is when it really matters and you really need to be that media, those journalists, the fourth estate, you're selling timeshares, man.
Listen, 60 Minutes last night. 60 Minutes still ran their whole thing about Israel-Gaza peace deal. Because Barry Weiss, who now runs CBS News, first of all, is a hack. Second of all, has admitted she doesn't even own a TV. Okay?
Fantastic.
And has a very specific point of view about this conflict, which is very aligned with the right wing in Israel. And, my heart breaks for the people at 60 Minutes. I know them. They're good people. I'm positive they probably did not want to go forward with this.
Not their fault. Yeah.
But it's not their fault. But it is also because it has now been purchased. 60 Minutes and CBS and Paramount, in that order, has been purchased by the Ellisons, who are very, very, very close to Trump. And why does Time Magazine put Donald Trump with his vagina neck on the cover and his triumph as the headline? Well, because Time Magazine is also owned by Mark Benioff, whom we just mentioned, the guy who won Salesforce and wanted to send the National Guard in to San Francisco. And of course, sure enough, Donald Trump said, done. Next place we're going to go. So, corporate media is done. It's done. It's done. It's finished. It's over. Like, this weekend just proved it.
Oh, yeah.
And we all have to kind of retrain our brains, like all of us, right? Yes, a lot of these legacy media corporations and outlets have resources and bureaus all over the world. When there's something going on, first place I go is CNN, because CNN actually has some very legitimate journalists all over the world. However, we all need to train our brains into looking at the whole picture, that the legacy media and the corporate media do not get to decide what is important and what is not important, because that is what they're trying to do. They're trying to say, look over here, don't look over here. Case in point, the No Kings protest that we talked about in the beginning of the show. There is not enough coverage about any of this. This was the single largest day of demonstration in United States history. Over 7 million people showed up across the country. That is huge. 7 million people showed up to protest this administration, this regime. And it is not on the front page in the New York Times this morning. Why?
It wasn't on the front page of the New York Times yesterday. It was on the front. It was buried. I mean, it was on the front page kind of as it wasn't a headline. It wasn't above the fold.
Right. And which I sent in the group chat this weekend, Julie, like some of the research that I found about corporate media doing this back during the Nixon administration, wanting to bury stories about anti-Vietnam protests, civil rights, the Edmund Pettus Bridge, crossing for Martin Luther King. A lot of newspapers did not cover that, or at least it was buried on page 4 or 5 because they didn't want to upset people.
Yeah.
They didn't think it was that important. But look, but again, the history books are written, and in hindsight, it's one of the most important stories of that era. But this is why it's up to us here at Mayday and other independent voices. We have to continue to tell these stories. We have to continue, and we have access to things in a way that those people did not. We are fortunate, at least in that way, that we have a little bit of control here in sending the narrative every which way.
Yeah.
So. Well, and the thing is, we have this misconception throughout histories because we remember the moments that took risks, right? We don't unless you're a historian, you're digging into the era, you're not studying all what was going on. So this is to your point, Michelle, this is really no different. One of the big turning points in the civil rights movement was Emmett Till's mother deciding not to have a closed casket funeral, and a photographer, and that story running nationwide. And as soon as people saw the ugly reality of what it was in the Jim Crow South, it started to turn nationwide.
George Floyd.
Same thing. George Floyd.
Citizen journalists putting their phones up and recording what the reality of what is happening in front of us, and that making its way around the world changed the world. And
to Julie's point before, you've seen the same thing with ICE on TikTok and social media, and people filming what it looks like when ICE comes into a neighborhood, what it looks like when they snatch people off the street, right? It's not this, not this neo-Nazi-ish rebuild the homeland, crap, this Aryan ideal, where it's just come on, citizen, let's get you to a processing center. It's none of that crap. It's brutal and it's horrific and it's unconscionable, and we have to sit with that.
Yeah.
And that, go ahead.
No, agreed. Agreed. But it's just, it's gross. I'm sorry.
It's as gross as it's gross as a vagina neck.
Oh, well, that's really, we gotta move
on that note. Put a pin in that. I'm sure we'll be talking about legacy media for many days and months to come.
You pin it together.
Okay. Guys, we are living in some weirdo kindergarten style world right now because MAGA was triggered after the No Kings rally on Friday. JT Vance posted memes of Trump crowning himself like Napoleon Bonaparte did, while Nancy Pelosi and other Democrats knelt and pledged fealty to him. Okay. Meanwhile, Trump posted an AI meme of himself wearing a crown and literally dropping shit on Americans who were protesting him, which is no different. Do we have that clip, Michelle? Or
I don't want to show it. I don't want to give it oxygen.
Yeah. But I do want to say this. First of all, is that the biggest cell phone of all time, Michelle? Because that's pretty much what Trump has been doing. He has been dropping shit on all of us since the day he descended down that golden escalator.
It
was literally the most accurate thing he's shown about his administration.
Yeah. Well, he's been tweeting and truth socialing from his toilet for the last 10 plus years. So the shit part of it makes a lot of sense. Because I think it's something that he loves to do, especially on his hometown. The visuals that he chose to use was to do it on the crowd in the middle of Times Square. Now, Harry Sisson, I think his last name is the young man who's in the front of the crowd where the AI shit is dropping. Now, he asked, I have the tweet up here. He asked, can a reporter please ask Trump why he posted an AI video of himself dropping poop on me from a fighter jet? That would be great. Thanks. JD Vance, a grown-ass man and the vice president of the United States, quote tweeted it and said, I'll ask him for you, Harry.
Yeah, I mean that's typical JD Vance. Like he's
Yeah,
he's a troll. Like
he's a troll. He's an unserious person who has been bought by Peter Thiel and has absolutely no morals. But you know, the whole thing, yes, it's a cell phone, Julie, but more than that, it is very, very, very clear that this protest bothered Donald Trump. I think
Oh,
any
God, yeah.
protest against him bothers Donald Trump. The fact that the last single largest demonstration in American history was on his birthday, the day of his stupid military parade on June 14th. So fast forward to October 18th of this year was the next of over 7 million people. This bothers him. I'm sure he was ranting and raving and crying and throwing things against the wall. And if there's anything that we know about Donald Trump and specifically this administration and the staff that's around him, especially now, is they don't tell him anything that they don't want to hear. And he's a fragile baby. He's a fragile baby whose ego cannot be bothered. So, you have Stephen Miller and the other cohorts and the communications team, the Caroline Levitts, going on whatever AI, website that they use to create these AI videos of him assaulting the American people.
Well,
Yeah.
I just
Go ahead.
No, I just want to point out, like, for those of you who remember the trial where he got convicted in Manhattan, what, 34 counts?
34.
So there was a young woman that followed him around.
Oh,
with
yeah.
a portable
Yeah.
printer. This is how fragile this man is.
Mm-hmm.
Is to print out
Mm-hmm.
favorable articles
Mm-hmm.
of him so he could read them, during his trial, which he fell asleep at. And but further than that, the thing is with this is, I think what it's showing is the liberal tears strategy is running out. It's running out of road, because now you're King Trump in his AI videos shitting on Americans and protesters, and it's like, that's great, bro, but how are we getting groceries down?
They are professional victims. The
Yep.
entire Republican Party and right wing of this country are professional victims. All they do is bitch and whine anytime something doesn't go their way or somebody says something that they don't agree with. I'm a baby. Because people were losing their jobs for saying that Charlie Kirk was a racist, which he is and was. And now if we go out in the streets and say, we don't want kings in this country, we're supposedly anti-American and we hate America and we're Antifa terrorists, please.
It's just, there's no consistency. There's no consistency of principles. And this is my belief. And Julie, you disagree with me that, I want to get your take on this. I think at some point, because things are heading in they're hurting his base in ways they have not been hurting. Eventually they're going to, like, you know what, dude? Yeah, liberal tears was fun, but stuff's getting really serious right now. And I need you to govern. Can you do that?
Well, the problem is there's never enough for them. They are in charge of everything, and yet they're being oppressed. They're being oppressed by the mainstream media. Well, guess what, buddy? The mainstream media is owned by your allies now, right? From Time Magazine to 60 Minutes to soon to be CNN to soon to be TikTok to Fox News. All of it belongs to your friends. So the mainstream media is not out to get you anymore. You own it.
Yeah.
The government is not out to get you anymore because you own that too. The courts are not out to get you because you own that too. So at which point do you stop, as Michelle said, being a professional victim and start taking responsibility? And
thank you.
What I will say is every weekend I do my Substack and I put the price of eggs, the price of bacon, and the price of apples, because that is what he promised to lower immediately when he went on Meet the Press on December 15th. Strangely, the price of eggs and the price of bacon is released once a month, one by the Fed, one by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, right around the 15th, not released this week. Right? The price of apples, which is released every week, is still higher year over year.
And it's apple season, which are more plentiful.
Yes, they're not. Yes. So I'm saying all of this to say that if you go to the supermarket, which I did this weekend, and you buy stuff, it's just more expensive. But again, I will come back to the media. Last year, all I heard about was the price of eggs. That is all I heard about. This year, the price of eggs is higher year over year than it was last year. Why aren't I hearing about this? Well, I'll tell you why. Because Donald Trump throws so much shit at the wall, no pun intended, and apparently on people in Times Square.
I was one of those people.
Right? In that crowd. Nobody can see what sticks. So my advice to the next Democrat who's in the White House, if that ever should happen, is create so much chaos that the media can't keep up with you. Because that's what Trump does. Because you don't hear about the price of eggs anymore. Nobody's even talking about the fact that the price of bacon and the price of eggs, we don't know. Was it higher than last month? Lower than last month? Hard to say. They won't release them. And again, I hate to have like beat up a media day today, but it's just,
they've earned it.
Insane to me that the same people who were screaming about how the American people were in so much pain last year under Joe Biden, apparently not a big deal anymore, that it's more expensive now than it was last year. Again, year over year.
Listen, I will say this. I will say this, that the entire world was in recovery from a global pandemic. The entire world. These things don't happen overnight. Over 1 million people just alone in the United States died. Just in the United States. Our recovery was faster than any other country in the world. We had our economy under Joe Biden was the envy of the world. And we, the Democrats, had a very hard time telling that story, unfortunately, number one. But second of all, the media didn't want to give Joe Biden credit for anything because they thought if Donald Trump was back in the White House again, that they were going to make more money because there was going to be more outrage and more clicks on their websites and everything else. And I remember I posted a video on my own Instagram in October of last year. This time last year, it was after the Washington Post refused to endorse in the presidential. And I said, they think that this is going to work out for them, and it's not going to. Watch. And here we are a year later. It's not working out.
Yeah. Well, as Les Moonves, the not so dearly departed sexual miscreant of CBS News, said at the time in 2016, Trump may be bad for America, but he's really good for CBS. Congratulations, CBS. You're now owned by people who are doing this to you. How good was he for CBS at the end of the day? And that should be a lesson to everybody who bends the knee to this guy. Ultimately, it's not good for America, and it's ultimately not good for your company either.
If legacy media was worth a damn, I'd still be a Teamster.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's real. That's real.
All right.
All right. We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
Frederick.
Oh no, it's me.
It's your turn.
That's right. See, this is why I was.
Happy Monday, everyone.
Well, guess who's back? The president who leads the party of law and order sprung on one of the biggest hucksters in congressional history out of prison over the weekend. Yep, he's back. George Santos is back on the street, free to grift again, absolved of having to pay restitution to the many, many people he's ripped off on his way to becoming congressman for a brief few months several years ago. Do these people even do they even care about crime when it doesn't involve their political enemies? Julie, Michelle, it just seems to be like I mean, I'll let you guys go on this one.
No, they don't.
George Santos?
We could end the segment now. The answer to your question is no. And we could move on.
If you want me to get a little conspiratorial,
Yes.
and so I'll get a little conspiratorial. It's like The Guardian published a piece, I think it was around Tuesday or Wednesday, about Virginia Giuffre and Prince Andrew, right? It was an in-depth sort of expose from the letters and everything else. Apparently, the king summoned Prince Andrew to, Windsor Castle, wherever they're having their meeting, probably at like a Nando's or something, just off the cuff. And he's like, "Hey, bro, time to give up them royal titles. It's not a good look for us. Can't have it." And that was Thursday. And then lo and behold, Friday is the George Santos pardon. I'm not saying those things are related because I don't want to put on my tinfoil hat just yet, but boy, that timing is sure impeccable, isn't it?
Well, unless I'm missing something, I mean, Julie, maybe you know, I was having a hard time understanding, other than just like the fact that George Santos is MAGA and he was like, a ridiculous person and a con man and the talented Mr. Ripley and all the above. But like, why does Donald Trump care?
I think two reasons. One is to own the libs. George Santos was sending op-eds out from prison every day, extolling Donald Trump and doing exactly what Trump wants, just kissing up to him. And there's no faster way to get what you want with Trump than just to be like, you're the best, Mr. President, you're the smartest, you're the most, And the reality is that not only did Trump commuted George Santos's sentence, but now Santos does not have to pay restitution to any of his victims.
Wow.
So it's not that he's springing some guy from prison, which, okay, like, God bless. You're also punishing the people who George Santos defrauded.
Mm-hmm. And there were a lot of them.
Kim in the chat just brought up a point, and I should have considered that. She said Maxwell, Ghislaine will pardon next. Yeah. I wonder if this is means testing, is what this is like you get somebody vile like George Santos, see the reaction, and then, if it's not that bad, Ghislaine is next, obviously.
Ghislaine Maxwell will be pardoned next. You're absolutely right. And I think the problem with the media generally, again, just to speed up on Media Monday, is that what Trump does is just acclimates them to this, right? So, for example, he keeps talking about how he can invoke the Insurrection Act every interview he does, and I can invoke
he's been saying that pretty.
Yeah, in fact, half of all presidents have invoked the Insurrection Act.
Not true.
False, like beyond false. Like nothing could be more false. Yeah. And I can pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. Nothing's preventing me from pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell. It's my right to pardon her. He acclimates people to this, so that when he actually invokes the Insurrection Act, everybody's going to be like, well, I mean, whatever. He talks about it. It's not a shock. And the press isn't ringing the alarm. The New York Times is not every day putting on the front page of the paper, holy shit, he might actually invoke the Insurrection Act, which means that your civil rights will be completely abrogated. Holy shit, he might actually pardon this completely awful, convicted child sex trafficking predator because he has the right to, and he said so he will. Like,
which the New York Times called her, what was that, Julie? Called Ghislaine Maxwell?
Oh, yes. Epstein's former employee and friend.
Cool.
That's how the New York Times refers to Ghislaine Maxwell.
Great.
So,
why don't you just say she's a human being?
Former employee.
The lady with the British accent.
I've had former employees and also friends, and guess what? If they were convicted of child sex, that's not why she's in prison. New York Times, she's in prison because she's a convicted sex trafficker, not because she worked.
And Al Capone was a purveyor of entertainment.
Right. So that's the part that's just annoying and awful, and I think just does such a massive disservice. And this, you're absolutely right. This is the predicate for pardoning Maxwell, who will immediately come out and do an interview and say Donald Trump had nothing to do with this, and Donald Trump is an upstanding man, and not just Trump, everybody. I mean, the Times,
which is horseshit. Like, that's the thing. It's like, it's such horseshit. These people terrorized and ruined the lives of so many women, so many girls, children. And that's the other thing. I was like, it should be every single day Democrats coming out and being like, the Republican Party is protecting pedophiles. The Republican Party is protecting pedophiles. The Republican Party, Mike Johnson and Donald Trump and JD Vance are protecting pedophiles. It is that simple. It is that simple. Every single day.
And it's
enraging. It's enraging. My God.
Yeah, it is. And I something that should be very simple in our culture, something that should be just cut and dry, black and white, good and evil, because there's very few things there, and it's abusing children. Even prisoners, hardened murderers, kill child abusers in prison.
In prison,
Even they
she's not
have,
allowed near animals. They won't allow her because, you know, the people in the prison there's different programs where they can help animals and dogs and whatever. And like, she's not allowed near animals because of the kind of crime that she committed. Crimes.
Yeah.
And I will never understand it. And as we watch Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massie, and there are, you know, Republicans start to step away because that was the line for them. That was the line. And the fact that there are not more is insane. And Mike Johnson is time and time again being interviewed during this shutdown when he sends the House back to do district work over and over and over again. They have been on vacation for over a month. And that is another story that is being ignored by the media. Why is this not the top story? That the House is going home. They are not working because they don't want to swear in the 218th vote from Arizona, Congresswoman-elect Grijalva. She will be the last vote to release the Epstein files. And he refuses. And he keeps saying, well, no, that's not true. Now that, you know, it's like the government shut down. And when Democrats decide to reopen the government, bullshit. And that's, again, every single day that needs to be the story. And it's not.
John Carl on ABC yesterday, actually, to his credit, went after him hard on, and he stuttered. But
oh yeah,
but not enough people. Okay. On that note.
On that note.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready?
Great, guys.
You know, I think we've stumbled on a block here idea before you launch, Julie. We need to have Blame Media Monday. Like,
okay.
That's what we need.
I think we need to
Blame Media Mondays.
I think we need to do Blame Media every day. But so listen, we are going to do our usual e-block today where we do our surprise segment, but something really awful happened on Saturday that hasn't gotten enough media attention. And we're going to bring it to you here again because it's Blame Media Monday. In an effort to intimidate people in Southern California from attending the No Kings rally, the Trump administration, in its infinite wisdom, decided to stage a live fire demonstration in San Diego County. By sheer coincidence, supposedly in honor of the 250th anniversary of the Marine Corps, and of course, by sheer coincidence, on the very same day as the No Kings rally. This was staged despite Governor Gavin Newsom's opposition to the event, which he said would put Californians in danger and create havoc. During the rally, and MAGA from J.D. Vance on down, they all mocked Newsom for this, Sean Spicer, all of these morons were like, oh, acting little girl Gavin Newsom. Well, sure enough, J.D. Vance shows up, Pete Hegseth shows up, they all show up at Camp Pendleton. Newsom has no choice but to shut down the I-5 corridor in order to prevent people from basically being bombed by these howitzers. And of course, sure enough, 155 millimeter shell fired during the demonstration prematurely detonated. Who could have predicted that except everybody? Dropping fragments of the shell on a California Highway Patrol vehicle and motorcycle that were part of Vance's protective detail. They're okay, thank God. And dropping shrapnel onto the vehicles parked on a ramp to the I-5, which a 17-mile stretch of which Newsom had ordered closed against the guidance of military officials. Thank you, Pete Hegseth. Newsom was right. The military was wrong. Who said it was safe for it to remain open? Obviously not. And I just want to say the decision to fire live artillery shells from the oceanfront training area was deeply unusual.
That's putting it lightly.
You know that, yeah, that California Highway Patrol's Border Division Chief said in a statement, quote, "It is highly uncommon for any live fire or explosive training activity to occur near an active freeway. Frederick, you are a former Marine. What the F?"
Well, they have areas, you know, for this kind of targeting for naval gun exercises. They are far away from any civilian populations.
Right.
Like, I'll give you an example. So I was a small gunner in a rifle company in the Marine Reserves. I used to fire a shoulder-mounted rocket, and so we were on a training exercise. So I was in a weapons platoon, so we had mortars, which is basically like it's just lobbing a rocket, kind of what they were doing, except on a much bigger scale. And we were on the firing line, and mortars are firing over our heads, and we're getting a brief, and our sergeant's there, and we heard it because you can hear like and it was short, right? So we all hit the deck behind the berm, except our sergeant, who's got a canteen cup full of coffee. It exploded, like not danger close, but close enough to where you could feel the ground like thump, right? Piece of hot shrapnel hits him in the flak, just sticking out, and he goes, "Oh, damn, it's a good thing I decided to wear this." And pulls it out and throws it off, right? The point being is, I don't care. There's always a short round. There's always something that happens. That's why you don't fire over a freeway.
Yeah.
More to the point, you might have unexploded ordnance that lands in the ground that you don't know that somebody could be coming along working on, or maybe it's on an animal trail or something else, and then that explodes. Or there's just things in the ground, like even just the shrapnel. Somebody goes on a hike and misses it, hurts themselves, or there's a number of things that can happen. Not even the environmental impact that is going to happen, or because that area has not been properly designated to fire live ammunition and explosive ordnance. What if it starts a brush fire? They don't care about any of that, right? Because the point being of that it wasn't a training exercise. It wasn't to make our troops better. It wasn't to actually sharpen their skills. No, it was to be an asshole, to shut down a No Kings protest and fire over a road. That's why I can't stand these people. They're not serious. There's nothing serious about it. And the thing is, those missiles are designed to kill people en masse. It's very serious business.
Yeah.
Right? And just what was it? It was reported that it's coming out. The fisherman that survived one of the second Venezuelan boat attack was actually it was a fishing boat, and they were sending out a distress signal. And so that's how they knew where they were. And so instead of helping a boat in distress, we fired on it and destroyed it and killed people.
The problem here is, and it just occurs to me as we're talking about this, is they hate Americans.
Yeah.
Yes.
They do. They hate us. They're declaring war on us. Don't fire live rounds over the heads of Americans. No. These are the people that you swore to protect and defend. Our Constitution, but also us. And it's just amazing how little they care. Like,
it's the same mentality, these jackasses that want to wear an AR-15 at Costco, right? Like it's an accessory. It's an accessory. These gravy seals that use it as their, look how alpha I am. Son, that's not something for you. It's not a man purse. It's not jewelry. It's a weapon system. It's designed to kill people. It's very serious business, and it should be treated as such. It should be legislated as such.
And JD Vance was a Marine. That's the other part of it that is just crazy to me. JD Vance was a Marine, or so he loves to, I was a Marine, which
it just shows you he doesn't care. It makes him even more despicable. It just makes him even more despicable.
Pete Hegseth, veteran. I mean, but it's all happening on TV because it's all about owning the libs. It's all about showing force. But again, all they do is look like morons. We look like sloppy ass morons. And to your point, Julie, just about the thing about can't standing America. I think of this line from The American President, the movie. This isn't about me. How can you keep quiet? How do you have patience for people who claim they love America, but clearly can't stand Americans? And I think about that all the time because that is these people in a nutshell.
Well, on that note, you guys, thank you for joining us on this very surly Monday morning. And we will see you all tomorrow for another episode of the Mayday Morning Show. Yep. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Bye. Have a great day.